All right, guys. So recently in my comments, I was told that 80% of Israelis support ethnic cleansing of Gaza. And I was like, what the fuck? I need to look into this. It turns out that it's true. So I'm going to read this article. It's worth noting that it's only 1,000 people, but still, if those 1,000 people that were polled online, if they were a representative sample of the population and it isn't biased in any way. It's hard to say. I didn't conduct the poll. This is pretty fucking alarming. Poll: overwhelming majority of Jewish Israelis back expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza. Some 82% of Israelis support the mass expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza, according to a poll commissioned by Penn State University. An overwhelming majority of Jewish Israelis support the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, aligning with the extremist Netanyahu government that has vowed to drive the Palestinians from their land. An online poll of more than 1,000 people found that 82% backed the forced deportation of Gaza's 2.2 million residents. The survey was conducted in the first week of March by Israeli polling firm Geocartography on behalf of Penn State University. The poll also indicated high levels of hostility toward Arab Israelis, with more than half, 56%, of respondents voicing support for the deportation of the 2 million Arabs who hold Israeli citizenship. Even more alarmingly, a significant number of people expressed support for committing genocide against the Palestinians, with almost half of those surveyed agreeing that the Israeli military should reenact the story of the Israelites' capture of Jericho. The survey question referred to the biblical story when Joshua's army was said to have killed every man, woman, and child after capturing the city. It read, "Do you support or oppose the claim that the IDF, when conquering an enemy city, should act in a manner similar to the way the Israelites acted when they conquered Jericho under the leadership of Joshua, namely, killing all its inhabitants?" Taking a break from the text here, note that this is a very direct question, and they're very specific, namely killing all its inhabitants. Like, there's no ambiguity here. Israel ministers have in recent months been advocating for the voluntary migration of Palestinians from Gaza, empowered by U.S. President Donald Trump, voicing ambitions for a U.S. takeover of the territory and the expulsion of its residents. The country's defense minister, Israel Katz, has established a military body dedicated to accelerating their displacement. The government vowed earlier this month to conquer and occupy the entire Gaza Strip in a renewed ground offensive codenamed Gideon's Chariots. It has since issued a swath of new displacement orders and seized more territory, displacing hundreds of thousands of people and pushing them into ever smaller corners of the Strip. Around 80% of the territory is now off limits to Palestinians, the UN Secretary General said Friday. Since announcing the renewed offensive, Israeli ministers have been speaking in blunt terms about their ambitions to depopulate the territory. Gaza will be entirely destroyed. Civilians will be sent to the south to a humanitarian zone without Hamas or terrorism, and from there they will start to leave in great numbers to third countries. The country's far-right finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, declared this week. "We are conquering, cleansing, and remaining in Gaza," he said in a statement that a day later was praised by Netanyahu as speaking the truth. Top Israeli officials, including Netanyahu and the military's chief spokesperson, have declared that the population will be displaced during the ongoing operation and have framed it in humanitarian terms to, quote, protect the Palestinians. It remains unclear which countries they expect them to move to. Egypt and Jordan have faced down pressure from Washington to open their borders to Palestinian refugees. Unconfirmed reports suggest the U.S. and Israel have approached Sudan, Morocco, Syria, and Somaliland. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed this week that the administration is in talks with countries about accepting Palestinians. This came a few days after the administration denied a report that it had approached authorities in Libya about deporting 1 million Palestinians to the country. Yeah. So, regardless of how it came to be, there's likely a lot of propaganda involved. There's a bunch of lies. That's what Israel tends to do. And they've been probably lying to their own citizens to create this sort of extremism so that they support their fucking ongoing heinous fucking acts. But again, regardless of how it came to be, the damage is done. I couldn't believe the number personally. But yeah, assuming that this is entirely accurate and that is how Israelis feel, then I feel, and a lot of people disagree with me on this, a lot of people have this let people solve their own shit. And I disagree because we have a country that is ruled by a tyrant fucking authoritarian crazy ass fucking psycho motherfucker, and everyone in his cabinet is similar. You can't leave it up to them. So with all of the talk about the United States and our downfall and how we don't have the power we once had and all that, I'm perfectly fine with it. In fact, I think it's the best for the rest of the world. We generally don't do anything good, not when it comes to foreign fucking relations. But what it does open the door to, and I think it needs to be answered, is it leaves China in a very special position as what will become the new global superpower. And I would hope that China decides to kind of piggyback off of some of the good things they've done. I'm not saying everything they do is good, but they've made advancements in technology for millions of people, for one. They've even had open source AI and shit when they could have privatized it and made it like a profit-based thing, and that's what America would have done. Let's just be honest about it. They have the opportunity to step in now and do what the United States won't. If the United States is going to be complicit in fucking all of this evil shit, then do you know how much it would help China and its ambitions to just go ahead and just not play games and not be neutral, just come straight out and say, Israel, you're fucking evil. You've stolen land in the West Bank, even though it was against international law. You've even admitted to it. You've committed numerous fucking war crimes, killed random people indiscriminately. China should take this opportunity and take this opening, and even if they have more nefarious ends, it will at least create some good action in the process. I don't care so much about their intent. Someone needs to do something, because we are witnessing something right now that will go down in history as one of the most heinous fucking acts in history. And most of the world are just standing by. Someone has to step up. And I really think that China's in the best position to do so. They should send diplomats there and just be upfront. We're going to investigate all of these claims. And if we find that you are engaging in the shit that, there's evidence for, we're going to stop it. We're going to hold you accountable. And apparently you can't look to the actual citizens of Israel to do anything about it, because they're overwhelmingly on board with it. So this whole might makes right shit is stupid on its face. It doesn't mean anything. But sometimes you have to get greater might to put these fucking tyrannical people in their fucking place. So whatever it takes, I would bet that if China decided to hold them accountable and actually put their fucking feet to the fire, so to speak, that a lot of the world would stop being so complacent and they would join in, because it's obvious what's right, what's moral in this situation. And some countries have tentatively fucking like came out against it, like France and Yemen, but it's not enough. They're not actively doing anything about it. They're just wagging their fucking fingers. So that's what we really need at this point. If we want to stop this from being like a fucking, basically another fucking Holocaust. It's ironic that it's fucking Israel that happens to be fucking the perpetrator in this case. You'd think that they may have learned from being on the receiving end of this sort of fucking behavior, but apparently not. So, I mean, if you have this sort of like fucking imperialism, which is basically what it is, and this like racism, China should do something about it. That's my opinion. China should fucking just stop fucking around and just directly state, we're not going to stand by and let you do this. And if you continue, we will fucking declare war on you. That's probably what it's going to take, because Netanyahu's emboldened. He thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And being someone that's like a third party, sure, you'll be like, yeah, it's easy to say because you're not involved, but still, what is right is fucking clear. So if Netanyahu, which is likely, decides to like fucking rebuff it with like threats of his own, let him fucking sign his own death warrant. That's what would happen. I mean, if it came down to it and he had like a standoff and started like being threatening like he tends to be, he's like ultra right wing, then fucking solve the problem, make all of Israel one glass fucking hole. Apparently, if there's no good people left in it, or few good people left in it, that's for the greater good. And then there will be no more fucking Israel if it came down to that. And then we wouldn't have all these bullshit excuses and these fucking war crimes, at least from Israel. Maybe you could fucking like get civilians out, or at least give warning or whatever. I don't know. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. This has been going on for decades. And it's not like, again, it's not this like fucking, honestly, what I used to believe before I actually learned anything about it, that it was like a tit for tat, like both are involved in a bunch of shit. No, it's actually pretty one-sided. Israel has been the one that has constantly went against international law, stolen territory, fucking made up bullshit excuses to fucking attack when Palestinians had absolutely no desire to fucking fight, but they're going to because they're being fucking attacked. It's the opposite of what you're being told. You're being told that like Israel's defending itself. That's bullshit. The Palestinians are defending themselves. And it's hilarious on its face anyway. It's almost like when people, if people were to like, it's almost like Ukraine and Russia. Like people are like, yeah, Ukraine is like attacking Russia, and Russia had no choice but to act. Ukraine poses no threat to Russia. Not early on, not without any sort of third party involvement. It's like look at their fucking militaries in comparison. You cannot make the case that fucking Palestine was a threat to Israel. It's hilarious. Like, it's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? So this whole time it's been bullshit, lies, lie after lie after lie. At this point, like, it always takes time to fact check, but we always find out that every time Israel claims something, like, and uses it as justification for their attacks, it was always fucking fabricated. It was always just bullshit. Yeah. But those are my thoughts. Thank you for your time.